right.
At 6 o'clock, I'll call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Trustee Polly.
Here.
Trustee Lappin.
Here.
Clerk Palovich here. Treasurer Ellery Summers.
Here.
Trustee Kroll,
Here.
Trustee Reiner.
Here.
Supervisor Kujabaski.
Here. Before we adopt the agenda, I would like to add item number 10, a resolution for the Eagle Grant. There's no other changes.
Is that Eagle Grant?
Eagle Grant resolution,
Oh.
new grant. If there's no other changes, can I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Support.
Moved by Trustee Reiner, supported by Lappin.
Okay. All those in favor of adopting the agenda with the addition of item number 10 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. This is the first opportunity for public comment. If there's anybody online with public comment, please hit the ellipses and raise your hand. Seeing none, if there's anybody in the audience with public comment?
I don't know the people online have got here.
I can't hear. I don't know how to know that.
Is someone telling you they can't hear us? Okay.
Stand by. I think so. I don't know. Can you hear me?
We tried.
For those online, if you can hear me, can you please type something into the comment box?
That answers your question.
I
Oh,
hear you.
okay. Okay. Thank you. If there's any online public comment, please raise your hand. Okay. Seeing none, if there's any in-person public comment, please approach the podium. This ends the first opportunity for public comment. We're moving on to the consent agenda. I have a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
I don't feel a suggestion for that.
Well, if everybody else can hear, the problem's on her
Yeah.
end.
I don't.
You call your phone. Put on speakerphone.
I mean, we might be able to hear her.
Do you want to try, well, she can hear me. I guess type into the message box if she would like to call. She can call the township cell phone 0029. Yeah. But you'll have to let her know.
I'll support the consent agenda.
Bev, can you hear this microphone? No. Okay, then I don't think this.
Sounds like a her issue.
They just proceed without.
Correct. Get it fixed and back in a second, public comment.
Okay. Well, if she can't hear me though, I can't tell her that.
Well, can we
Can you
type it?
type in there?
Call or
She can call for public comment now on the township cell phone, or she can try to, I mean, it's not on our end, so she can try to
fix her issue.
fix the, try to restart or rejoin and come on for the second public comment.
Yeah.
That is, move forward and deny that. Just as a result.
It's Stephanie.
You're okay.
My fault. Now, what would the bonds do? Oh. You know, if it's on her.
Okay.
For others, we'll-
We're gonna proceed.
And we'll give her every.
Yeah,
opportunity, whether it's during. Just saying,
okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, we're gonna just go ahead and proceed. So we have a motion and support
To approve the
to approve
consent.
the consent agenda. Roll call, please.
Clerk Palovich, yes. Treasurer Ellery Summers.
Yes.
Trustee Kroll,
Yes.
Trustee Reiner.
Yes.
Trustee Polly.
Yes.
Trustee Lappin.
Yes.
Supervisor Kujabaski.
Supervisor Kujabaski.
Yes. Moving on to old business item number 1. Chief, if you wanna come up to the podium.
Good evening. Just that, with the Maple Ridge Township, I've given the supervisor, documents. And let her decide how she would like to proceed on trying to renew a contract. Or, make a discussion of changing the contract in some way, shape or form.
And that's it. Nothing's happened since then.
I gave it to her this past Thursday, Friday, I think it was. Yeah, it was late last week that I was able to get the information to her.
So they haven't had a board.
I don't believe so. no.
So are you two
So-
planning on meeting with Maple Ridge?
Yes, we'll meet together
Okay.
with Maple Ridge with somebody, a representative, whether it's their supervisor or their clerk, and then a representative from their fire department, I'm assuming their chief, to have further discussion, see if we can work out the issues and move on with it.
Will that be done prior to our next board meeting?
I'm hopeful so, yes.
Because we have to have this done by the end of, prior to the May or March. board
Yes,
meeting.
Yeah.
yes.
Something has to be in place so we can build them.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Is there any questions about that? You guys have been provided with that information too. You're welcome to look over it. Provide suggestions. Okay. Water tower security. I told you guys at the last board meeting, I received the camera. We're not able to get it set up. I have an appointment scheduled with Caitlin, the rep from AT&T, to try and work through those issues. Otherwise, it will be sent back and they'll provide us with another camera to try again. It's not having an issue with connecting to the SIM card to the network, I guess.
I would like to suggest that we also look into what it would cost for us to get Spectrum and our own cameras
Sure.
while we're doing this, so that we have a plan B in place if this plan A doesn't work. So we're not starting from scratch right away.
Well, and we've been talking about this for
Charter.
months. We need to get moving.
That's why I have two
Right.
plans going at the same time.
So the first one's with AT&T.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's free of cost to the township, which is why that's the one that I'm working on right now. That will cost us no money, as our contract shows they provide us with the equipment. And these particular cameras have a SIM card in them, so it's basically just like a cell phone. So there's no internet, no cords, no electrical that needs to be installed.
But as of right now, we're not finding anything that will work.
I
Right.
don't know,
So
yeah,
it's
and I don't know if
possible.
it's an issue with this camera or if it's just an issue with their internet.
So we check with Spectrum too and.
Yep. So I'll reach out to them and, I actually have already spoken to somebody from, Charter regarding the internet service that we receive here anyways, so.
Would it help to have Verizon or T-Mobile that also rent space from our towers? Or would they be able to do this too or not?
Possibly, they would possibly be able to provide the internet. I don't know that they would provide the equipment, but we can ask.
Because they rent
Yeah.
space from us,
Yeah. I'll reach out to, Charter,
T-Mobile.
Verizon, and T-Mobile. So, okay. Any questions otherwise on that? Okay. Moving on to the county treasurer owned parcels with the unpaid special assessments. Do you wanna speak on that first or have a presentation?
Is Lenny here for the
Yeah,
presentation?
Lenny and Max.
Okay, sure. Why don't we do that
respectively,
first?
Whoever.
I know, somebody's got to start. Trustees, thank you guys for the invite. I want to start off first by saying we are not in competition with any other housing agency in our community. Housing is an important aspect in our county. In the county of Alpena, we're 1,400 units short of just break even, not to get ahead of the problem. So if anybody is interested in building housing and especially putting things that were off the tax roll back onto the tax roll, we say yes, and we say shout hooray. What's exciting about tonight is you guys are thinking outside the box here, because Trustee Reiner, what, a year and a half ago, you sent me to Maple Ridge Township, and I went through and I probably found maybe 21 usable lots if they were all combined, to possibly look at that, because there's a lot of, properties that were seized and that are currently on the tax bill in Maple Ridge Township. So those are different opportunities that you guys have available to you to as a charter township. What Target is interested in doing, and Target Alpena is interested in doing, is working with you to help you think outside that box. You could target community-based community development grants that could target rehabs. If you were to say write a grant for a rehab program, and an agent like myself could be your third-party administrator for that grant, we could do rehabs in your charter township. There are grant funds that are currently available for that under my neighborhood. There are tons of different opportunities. There's a land bank now that you could be working with. There's a lot of different tools that you may not have known that you have access to. Our job at Target Alpena is to work with you to help you with grant support, to help you with housing, to help you with economic development, to provide a full spectrum of array of services that we can provide to the township. And that's really all we're there. Right now, we saw that there needed some additional supports in housing. So Target went into that area and we created the Lake Huron Regional Development Corporation. And that aspect is going to be working with workforce housing. These are firefighters, police officers, teachers. These are not the individuals that are sub 60% AMI. These are individuals that are, a little bit, you kind of call them the Alice, or the working blue collar individuals, so those are the people that we're targeting to kind of get homes and things built. So our model is a little bit different because we're working from a specific program versus building a home that a particular family or habitat family. I'm sure they'll tell you exactly about their program. But tonight, I just wanted to kind of give you an overview of some of the services that we provide and say that we're here to help you in any way that we can. So if it's helping with grants, if it's helping finding people to help you do your corridor improvement plan, if it's helping with economic development, working with local businesses in your community, we're here for it. I know the assessment lots have been brought up. I know you guys don't have full ownership and control that belong to the county. But if things like this come into your purview, now instead of just kind of throwing it to the wind, you now can start looking around and say, what other community agencies that we can partner with to get these things back on the tax roll. So I'm excited that you guys are invited us here, so I'm not going to be like, don't give those properties to that guy. By all means, if that guy can build them and you can get those things back on the tax roll, give those properties to that guy, because I'm going to continue to start looking for opportunities to build, and to work. Maybe we talk to Maple Ridge. The police officer says, no, we don't want to build back there, but maybe it's just opportunity zones. Maybe it's just opportunity if somebody is seeing something nice that they won't burn down or vandalize. So there's a lot of good people out there. So from what I saw, any questions from me? Yes, sir.
Lenny, when the land bank, we kind of used the habitat
Mhm.
for some of the properties. But what I think you're talking about now is a higher level of construction.
Right. Yes. When I was working with the land bank, we wrote a grant for Habitat for $500,000, and we were awarded a $500,000 grant for them to build on the 3 Bedford properties. They elected not to go with that grant, and they elected to go with, internal funds, which is their right. However, we're seeing that there's a lot of different pots of funds that we can work with. And Russ is right. We're talking about a borrower that's not 36,000 and below, a borrower that might be 96 to 125 for a family of 4. That may not be their model where they're building at. We're saying that there are programs that opens the floodgates. And if somebody's working this lane, we don't need to come into that lane. What is the other things that's catch where I'm too rich to be poor, or I'm too poor to be rich, I guess. So you catch that cusp to where you don't qualify for their services, but you don't qualify for anything. So we're looking at those individuals, the teacher, the police officer, the firefighters, the guys that make that $25 an hour range, but it's still not $60,000 a year. And they're not going to outbid somebody who can do cash offer on a $300,000 home, because I can tell you right now, construction, you can back me up on this, is between $250 to $300 a square foot. And on a 1,000 square foot home, you're already at 300,000, and we haven't even bought the lot. We haven't did well and septic if you need it well and septic. So there's a lot of cost that goes in, and that nut continues to move further and further away for home ownership as the next generation that comes in. So the fact that you guys are thinking about those special assessments or thinking about what other things that may come into your purview, what comes into your hands, instead of just saying right of first refusal, hey, we don't want it. Maybe now you kind of start seeing, hey, Lenny talked about a rehab program. What does that look like? Sure, I'd be happy to come in and sit down with whoever, and me and Abby, we say, okay, this is what a rehab program is. You guys go to the state and ask for this amount of money. Target will run your rehab program. We'll take all your applications, we'll review all your people, and we'll provide you a report at the end, or report during, however you want to report it. We just did $500,000 and 19 different rehabs in Alpena. So, there's a lot of different opportunities. Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you.
No worries. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Tammy. Tammy is our housing, education, and advisory team coordinator. So she'll be showing up to meetings, talking to you about services and things like that Target offers.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Max Lindsay. I'm currently the board president of Habitat. With me this evening is Katie Wolf, who's our development consultant. I'm going to take you through, because I'm old. And by the way, I want to thank you for the 25 minutes you've allowed us for the presentation. They're all laughing, Katie. I'm going to take you through a little bit, just briefly, a little bit of our history and where we're at today. Then Katie's going to talk a little bit about where we hope to be down the road. First of all, we've been around for a long time, 37 years now. The packet that we passed out, don't look. Is that my wife? The packet that we passed out, I just want to tell you what's in there. There's a list of our board members. There's a fact sheet, a sample of a typical home design, pictures of recently completed homes, recent news articles, and contact information for the organization. Lenny mentioned Bedford Street. We got those lots through the land bank, and exciting times for us. Those 3 homes have now been inspected. We have occupancy permits. Friday, we closed on the first house. We hope to close on house number 2 this week. And then the 3rd home, which is a USDA loan, that could be sometime in the future, sometime. And you can understand that probably. We started as Alpena Area Habitat for Humanity. And then we started merging, first Alcona County, then Presque Isle County, then Oscoda County, and finally Montmorency County. So we're a five county service area at this point. I think it's important that you know how exactly we do this, who our people are. We have a building superintendent, Jesse Lesage, who is formerly with AZ Builders. We have an architect. Our architect is a person living in the Lansing area who is the architect for Habitat projects for all over Michigan, who is recently retired from Habitat Michigan and is now, excuse me, is working with us. We have, over the years, he also mentioned home repairs. We are in that business. In fact, our local Habitat last year did 156 home repairs worth a little over $1.5 million. We do more home repairs than any other Habitat affiliate in the state of Michigan and have for the last 3 years. And we're pretty proud of that. Over that time, we have worked with a number of local contractors and building suppliers, of course. We have an experienced but small group of volunteers. I'm looking at all you volunteers right there. We can always use more help. And then in our model, our future homeowners and past homeowners also volunteer for construction work. Our staff, our office staff, Ted Fines, who unfortunately couldn't be here this evening, is our full-time executive director. We have a person who works full-time with that critical repair program. And then we have a full-time person who works with applications and applicant families and gets them ready primarily financially for home ownership. And then we do what we call a home visit to look at the present home situation. And then if recommended, then the board votes on that family. Last week, we hired a full-time communications person. And we have Katie helping us with grant writing, and we also have another person in that who helps us. Then we have our restore team, and we have 7 part-time people, 1 almost full-time, some weeks she is full-time, and 7 part-time people. As Lenny mentioned, the need is tremendous. Housing costs are skyrocketing. And there's more than enough need to go around for everybody in the pool. And I think we all agree on that. This year, we completed 7 homes. There are some pictures in that packet of some of those homes from initial stages to finished product. We have, in our budget for next year, we hope to build 10 homes. Of course, that's dependent a lot on money and grants, but that's our goal, to build 10 new homes. Bedford Street was the first time we had an opportunity where we had lots that we acquired that were that close together. Has anybody been there? Has anybody driven down Bedford Street? That's your homework. Drive down Bedford Street. If you don't know where Bedford Street is, just the first street before you get to Ella White School, turn left, go down 1 street, Bedford, turn down Bedford Street. Those 3 homes in that neighborhood has made, if you've ever been down that street, has really made, that's 2 blocks from my house, by the way. So I had the opportunity to walk down there almost every evening. It's really made a difference. And the acquisition of property that gives us that type of opportunity to change a neighborhood is really what we're looking to do. We currently have 3 homes. We have 3 foundations in Hillman. So weather permitting, we're going to start working on that as well. And we do the three homes on Bedford, one is a stick built and two are prefabricated homes based on our design. That's kind of where we're at the moment. Katie, would you like to come up and tell everybody what we're going to do next?
Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. So one of the things I just want to drive home is the type of homes that we build. Max talked about the homes on Bedford Street. Prior to that, we finished 2 homes in Hillman on Caring Street, which was quite appropriate on Caring Street. Those homes, when they were assessed, we sold one for $250,000. It was assessed before they were even in there at $276,000. So we're building, quality homes. Our homes they exceed building code. We exceed the energy efficiency. We really work to make sure that when the families move in there is low maintenance for them as possible, that they have the tools to maintain those homes and that they fit with that community. So that's really important to us. So when you go down Bedford Street, if you would be familiar with the homes that were there before, I grew up in Kentucky. They were similar. What was there was similar to what you would see in Eastern Kentucky in the coal mine area. I was really surprised that there were homes in that level of deterioration. I grew up in Louisville, so the homes weren't quite like that. But so removing those homes and working with the land bank to do the environmental was huge for us. So then we were able to buy those and put those homes up there. The people living in those homes, we have a video, and on the cover of that packet, I have the link to that video. It was 10 minutes, and so we didn't think we could take up that much time. But it tells you the story of Habitat from the perspective of the homeowners. And one of the things that's really important that we do is work with each of those families. So we have a full-time person that works with qualifying those families. Max has been involved in interviewing every family that has qualified. To meet those qualifications, they have to go through a pretty rigorous program where they have multiple units that are 4 hours apiece. Some of them, it takes 5 years to work toward where they have that financial stability to qualify. So we do not give homes away. What we do is work with people who are willing to do diligence to where they can afford those homes, and we feel sure that they can take care of them. So part of it is learning how to maintain them. First, they have to show that they financially are in good standing and can sustain the payments, then that they can maintain the home. So we do a lot of work there that's beyond just the cost of that house. So that's, we're pretty excited and proud of that part because we have a great track record on that front. So right now and Lenny talked a little bit about the different types of homes. Because the demand for homes has far exceeded, we're not just talking about what you would consider low income. Right now, for just about any working family, that home is a large stretch. So Habitat, across the country has expanded their reach. So we're looking at developing homes that would have a diverse population. So we have 20 acres in Hillman that we've purchased. We have another 20 acres in Rogers City that we have an agreement with. We look at those subdivisions as being pretty diverse. And in fact, in some cases, we may work with commercial builders for families who want, maybe a bigger home. Our homes are typically 2 to 3 bedrooms. They have a single car garage. The Bedford homes, we were able to add air conditioning and fencing because of a grant from the Besser Foundation. So we do everything we can. How do we make a $276,000 home more affordable for a family's first home? One of the things I do is write grants, and those grants can cover everything from the purchase of the property to covering the down payment and closing cost. That's a big deal because those front-end costs hit new homeowners hard. So most Habitat homeowners get help at that front end. And then we work very closely with financial institutions to negotiate the lowest interest rate we can possibly get. So that's part of what you get with Habitat in our history. Right now, if you look at where we are in the future, we have a very ambitious executive director who used to run a mechanical engineering firm in the Detroit area. And you combine him with our building superintendent who used to work building very fine homes in this area, Jesse Lesage. Those two, they set a very high bar. And so we have pretty ambitious plans with the Hillman property. And those projects, we worked very closely with Hillman Township. I'm on the phone regularly with their township supervisor. That project is going to be a very close working relationship where they help with some of the infrastructure. They provide, when you ask kind of what would be a township's role, it's helping with those hookups, helping maintain the roads once that infrastructure is in place. So it is truly a partnership. But then what we do, our model is we build a home and play it forward for that next home. So when we close on the house that we closed on Friday, that helps fund we have 2 more land bank lots in Alpena that we're going to start building on. That money goes directly to build that next home. So that's pretty much our model. We're always rolling those homes forward. So Max mentioned we plan to build at least 10 homes next year. We're looking for a project in Alpena that is more to the scale of what we have in Hillman and Rogers City. We have had a couple partners who are very interested in working with us. They could potentially be multi-unit housing projects or, rather diverse community projects. And we're really excited about that. We hope to work with Alpena Township. You have to work with those local units of government. I know we're tight on time, so I just want to scan through this. I told you a little bit about the types of homes. 2 to 3 bedroom is pretty typical. We do specialize our homes. Every home, there's no cookie cutters. If someone has a disability or a special need, we adjust the home, the plans for that. And our funding model is we're fortunate because we're not dependent on one entity, one pocket. We're not dependent on government money. We're not dependent on private money. We've got a very diverse portfolio of funding. We're doing some Habitat International, and Habitat Michigan is also a huge resource for us. They help us in qualifying the home buyers. Right now, we have just in the Alpena area, we have 40 families who are working through the qualifying in that pipeline. So we know that we have that lineup. And so we're anxious to get the property. One of the biggest challenges for us is acquiring the property. Once we get the property, we can move pretty quickly. If you look at the time frame for the Bedford homes, that took, those 3 homes happened all in a year from when we got the property to where we completed the home. So we can move pretty quickly on that front. Let's see. And that's really, if you have any questions, I think that pretty much covers what I wanted to cover. I think you will be seeing, it was interesting, we learned today from Alpena, they gave 8 building permits at large in Alpena, and 5 of those building permits were Habitat just for Alpena this past year. So I think that's tells you who's doing a lot of building.
One thing we didn't mention that I'd like to mention, if anybody would like to go, have 2 of those homes on Bedford Street that are currently unoccupied. If anybody would like a tour to see one of our homes, see what those are like. They're not going to be unoccupied very long, but please give us a call and we'll make sure that Jess is there to talk about construction in that home.
Most of the people that go through say, I'd like this home. One other thing I mentioned that we are able to keep that price low is that with our national affiliation, we get some things for free. I mean, Pella Windows have been very generous to Habitats, Whirlpool for the appliances. So that's another way that we're able to keep that price point low. They're getting high quality product. Locally, building suppliers have been incredibly generous to us with flooring and siding and roofing. All of those things really help to make that home for entry-level homeowners affordable. Thank you.
Not that it matters to us, because we're here just to decide whether to reduce the cost. Thing, primarily, so these properties can be released for use. But what's the difference between a manufactured and a modular? Because you use one, but not the other, I think.
You want me to tell you?
Yeah.
So so we just did an experiment on Bedford to compare what the cost would be for stick built because we had one house that was stick built and two that were modular. And they actually come in pretty much the same in cost. The difference is with modular, a lot of the home is done on site of the manufacturing plant and then delivered in units and put together. Once you walk inside of them, you do not know the difference. I mean, once you're inside, they're incredibly energy efficient. They're beautiful, very well finished. And we do a very careful inspection in case, they've gotten so good in transporting those that we rarely have issues anymore. It may be a paint type of thing.
The big advantage to us is, with the modular home that comes in, number one, they're good in our specs. Did anybody ever see one of those sent? You see one come in on a truck and be set. We have a video on our website. I think that's still two people do it. And they're pushing. When they set it, they're pushing with one. One guy's actually on his phone. But the big advantage to us, again, is as soon as that home is set, we're ready for the subs to come in.
So local contractors do, local contractors do the foundation work and the electric and all of those things. We use local contractors for as much as we possibly can. We use local building suppliers. And partly, after 30 years, we've got really good working relationships with them. But it's more of an efficiency thing of timing. We could put 3 homes on Bedford because we could use the 2 modular and the 1 stick build. The one that was a stick build, the person only wanted a 1-bedroom. We gave them a 1-bedroom in an office. We won't build just a 1-bedroom for resale purposes. We wouldn't want to do that to them. But that was a stick build. Sometimes the lot is situated, the topography is such that it doesn't work well for a modular. So we adjust that with a stick build, but the 2 are very competitive.
You didn't tell me about a manufacturer, but
We don't do manufacturing.
I know you don't.
Yeah.
I know you don't.
Habitat doesn't, well, there's a lot of issues. I mean, from an insurance standpoint, Habitat has a standard that it strives for. And part of that is safety and reliability and inclement weather and what have you. So the modular home is pretty much we don't do anything beyond modular and stick build.
Thank you.
I just have a question. I mean, I know Maple Ridge Township still has those 21 lots or 48 lots on their roll. I mean, they still own them. I don't think they gave it to the county. I mean, that's an area that's so.
Well, actually, what we're dealing with is it 6?
Yeah,
6 or 7.
7.
We're dealing with some properties in Alpena Township that have taxes assessed on them. And we're deciding whether to forego those tax collections so that the lots can be freed up and used.
That's what we're.
Because right now, it's been about 8 years, I think, of taxes. And, yeah. Didn't know those over here.
Well, I think the other
It's
thing that,
special assessment, not tax.
For special stuff.
And it varies.
But these are owned by the county.
Right.
Treasurer. But we have charges against them, so we're deciding whether to waive those charges. Right?
That's what I understand.
Yeah.
I think the other thing is, and the reason why I suggested that we sort of kick this, or at least have other opportunities, was that in the past, we've always deferred those properties back to the county. And each year when we get that list and
I don't think they do that anymore.
okay, so that's what I thought.
Yeah, they
That's
quit.
kind of stopped.
We don't
But-
have right of first refusal.
So I think at the end of the day, really, where I was coming from was that we have more than one opportunity to enhance the property values, whether they be through homes or commercial ventures or whatever it may be. And that was why I thought it would make sense to have an additional conversation on this. And it wouldn't necessarily just be those pieces of property that are on this list that we're looking at on our packet tonight, but it could be future land opportunities as well. So I think that
But I think the point is, does it make sense to keep adding on special assessments or taxes, whatever it is? And then, but not getting the properties developed and sitting there just running up a tab that we don't collect anyway.
It certainly makes more sense to me to either forgive or reduce or somehow set a standard so that those pieces of property can be taxable pieces of property and not just something that just keeps accruing, something that we're never.
And nobody will touch.
Yeah. So I appreciate both of these people coming to discuss tonight because it gives us more reason to do negotiations or however we work it out in the future.
I think Attorney Golden can shed some light on this too, of how much,
Yeah,
we would have
Laura,
to-
rolled up her sleeves and we've got to be kind of approximate here. You recall from last month, when there's a property tax foreclosure, it extinguishes all past due taxes and special assessments. Those are done, and then the law states, confirmed by the Attorney General, that special assessments start accumulating again post property tax foreclosure. That's where we've got some outstanding debt on these particular parcels. The number of years vary because they were foreclosed at different times. Some as many as 12 years of unpaid special assessments. Some as few, or one as few as 6. And they also vary because there were different units assigned to particular property owners. I might own 3 lots and each one may have gotten an assessment. Another person had one and got 1 unit of assessment. And so that accounts for the vastly larger numbers in some cases. You do have the authority, the ability to waive all or part of the outstanding special assessments, in my best judgment. Your option would be to wait till you get a concrete proposal on a particular lot or lots. And deal with it at that time. Or you could waive all the special assessments now and make it contingent on the county conveying it to a habitat or a Lake Huron Regional Development Corporation or something similar. And if that doesn't occur and they end up selling it to John Smith for a large profit, well, we get our special assessment paid in that case, or we revisit the issue. Because normally you would get paid if that lot went back on the market and sold for. And now, I don't know if that ever, this is unique. We don't normally have outstanding special assessments and property tax foreclosed, at least in my career. So, so that's where we're at. You received a letter from Mr. Osmer from the county broaching the subject. That's what got us here now. I don't know if we've got an exact plan for this particular parcel, or they're feeling you out at this point to see if this is something you'd be interested in and it would even be possible in the first place. From the discussion, it sounds to me like it's sure possible. But I don't think you have to make a decision tonight unless we hear otherwise at times of the essence and it is time. But otherwise, any interested parties can confidently report that, township's seriously entertaining this and it sounds good.
Tim, do you have an exact amount? If we went ahead and got rid of all of these, how much we would be
Well,
waiving?
I gotta say an approximate amount.
Right, how about
Okay,
an
yeah,
approximate?
because the map, the county, I think when we researched this, I think we taught some people, including myself, some things that the prior special assessments get extinguished, the future ones continue, but I think that calculations always assumed that interest from day one is being calculated. The program never cut it off and resumed. And so we went back to the best of our ability and looked at principal sums. If we were really serious, if this were a case where these lots were being sold not to somebody like Habitat, and we were really trying to tally up what the township is owed, then
we'd really have to dig in and figure out the math for that. But, so I'm gonna say approximately, well, a total of $146,206, as low as for the, one parcel, 4,102, as high as 52,079 for another, parcel, which must have been multiple parcels, multiple units of assessment. So 4,102, 11,745, 6,246, 52,079, 12,812, 21,175, and 38,044. So again, I don't think you need any action tonight. But if you get a specific proposal for a specific parcel, we'll keep this information. And you've got to make your decision knowingly.
Tim, could we do, we don't have to do all of them.
Correct.
We could do some of them or, okay.
Yeah, and
Have you folks looked at any of these? To see if they're of interest to you?
We went out and we assessed all 70 lots, most of them sand, which is good. Because you don't have to pull out a lot of clay, so there's not gonna be a lot of excavation.
Were they all vacant?
They're all big.
Yeah, all of them are vacant, they have trees, so you have to build up. There's gonna be a little bit of excavation work, because you have to build up for the cul-de-sac, for the culverts. Because the rules for the roads, so it's probably gonna be about 15 to 20,000 added of work that's gonna be done per lot. They're scattered, so you have a couple of them that are close, but none that are could be close enough to be merged into one lot. We do believe that there is a specific type of home. You couldn't broad set some of the homes because the lots are really narrow. So you're gonna have to have a home that's gonna have a front entry and it goes long versus a broad set home that goes out to the side. But that was probably a week or two of just kind of asking some people to kind of go through it and kind of walk and give us an estimate of what it would cost to get it assessed.
Plus there'd be the cost of adding, hooking up to the water.
Yeah, and they don't have sewer, so you would all have to run septic tanks.
Right.
So Ted Fines also went and walked the property, and from my understanding, he thought that they built up to 11 homes. And if he had his way, he would come with a full-scale proposal tonight.
Okay.
Because he's very interested.
So the county's asking us to waive any monies owed. Like, they want us to waive it now?
That was my understanding.
That was my understanding
So that
too.
they could put it back on the tax.
Right.
Yeah, the county in turn would then be conveying to an agency. So, I mean, they're the ones that will be signing a deed. They just want at the closing to be able to have something in our minutes or.
Well, being on the land bank, I think they'll come through the land bank in some way or another,
Yeah.
and then go out to either Habitat or whatever it's called. Yeah,
So-
and or some other agency, but you know, something like that where they're actually gonna develop a property.
So could we have a motion that says we will waive the interest and special assessment if given to Habitat or sold to Habitat Man or Target, one of these, either of these entities?
Yeah, I can read the motion. I
But
have.
if they sent it to somebody, trying to sell it to,
Well,
I
that
don't
was
know, a
gonna be,
developer.
that was gonna be my question.
Right.
As to whether or not there were other, not-for-profit entities, that maybe aren't in the area or whatever. And so if there's a for-profit company, a contractor that wants to build, are the terms different?
Why would they be? I mean, the.
I don't
point-
know.
The point is that we need to get these properties unstuck from where they're stuck at.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
my only question is that, is there a difference between, so I'm not exactly sure how the land bank would do this. Do they put it out for RFP? Do they, how do they establish what parameters are and to whom they're going to, seek out?
The land bank basically is a pass through. I mean, it's a, agree, it's an entity that can get money to do certain things.
Right.
On the property that nobody else can get apparently, and then we pass it on to somebody else. And it's usually like the 3 Bedford properties has been coordinated by a person at the city on Teal who has coordinated that and some other projects we've handled. Such
So is it
such as
subject
the
to
deconstruction
individual
of the
jurisdiction?
big boy right now. What's that?
So is it a determination by a particular jurisdiction? So on the Bedford, you say the city had determined
Right.
who was gonna get those. So does that mean that Maple Ridge or Alpena Township or whomever else is the ultimate arbiter of that? Okay, okay.
But I think this was one of the things that they had to do with the city lots too, as I know, probably. I don't recall, because that was by between the city and the county treasurer or something.
Okay.
The county treasurer is actually, by statute, this chair of this land bank.
Mhm.
County land.
So a policy decision would be, do you move to waive all outstanding special assessments for these parcels, period? Regardless, like to get it back on the tax roll, whether it's eventually conveyed to a private developer or to a nonprofit, or do you make it contingent on habitat or the target related corporation or some other entity, acceptable to the township board?
Well, isn't the request specifically from the county? Are we looking at the county specifically in their request right now, or are we just
can do
looking
our own.
at waiving it right now?
That, county owns the property, you've got special assessments, so they're asking for a favor, and,
Right,
and whether you wanted to tie their hands as to what then, because that's the question, or is it just these parcels have been there for a long time, owned by the county, with nobody chomping at the bit to buy them on the private market?
And the reason they're owned by the county, if I'm not mistaken, is because nobody privately bid on them at the
foreclosure.
foreclosure sale that the county had.
And
So they
probably
come back
because
to
of
the county
assessments.
because of the assessment.
Right,
Yeah, and they probably stopped paying their taxes in the first place because of the assessments.
Right.
Because when the water came through and not everybody wanted it.
So that was sort of my point, is that if the township basically forgave that debt, then now you've got a piece of property that may very well be desirable to several entities or people. And that's why I'm wondering who determines how that's distributed? So if we essentially forgive the debt to the township, and since the county treasurer owns the property, do they then determine who becomes the owner of those? And that the township, because we don't have a financial hook in it, doesn't have a say in the matter.
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
The only thing we have is the future taxes.
that's what I
Right.
was gonna say,
Right.
Jim. So then the county treasurer would own these, whether they sold them or not, they still have to pay the taxes. So we're now then gonna get the tax money, at least get the tax money out of Alpena County if they don't sell them to someone else.
Only if you made your agreement contingent.
Because we don't wanna just forego this, and then if they don't sell them to
That's the
somebody,
policy.
then they are not
That's the
gonna.
policy decision. You want to make
them then
forgiveness of the assessments contingent on the county conveying to
And
the
nonprofit.
entities such as we're hearing from tonight.
I don't see a need for that. Because right now they're unsaleable because of the cost that we're holding on them. And so until they're saleable, the county's had them for X number of years, 6, I think is the least. Is that what you said?
Yeah, 6 is the least.
But
12
they're
or
not paying the
13?
tax
Well,
or the special assessment. So
No,
I'm
but
just
they're
saying,
being charged, right?
but they're not paying it. They haven't paid some, right? So I just want to make sure that we're at least gonna get the tax bill paid for each of those. Whether
In the
someone,
future,
correct,
but probably nobody's gonna pay it unless we release what's owed now. You understand?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that they're gonna then, whoever is gonna pay the taxes in the future.
Yeah, so I think if I'm hearing you, if we forgave that. And now it becomes owned by the
Right.
county, and if they sat on it for X number of years, then we want to make it so that the clock doesn't completely stop ticking and that moving forward, that we still have a tax debt. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Right, that we're still gonna get, they're still gonna pay their tax bill because they,
From whichever date we
Right.
check.
Then it'd be a new foreclosure. wouldn't
right.
it?
I know.
No, I think I understand you, is that instead of like a private person paying the taxes on these properties.
Right,
If the county still owes them, they will pay us our
Exactly,
share of the
that's
taxes.
what I wanna make sure that we're still gonna
Okay,
get our money.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Yes.
that's what I understood you to say.
Yes. You're good at interpreting. I have to- No, but that's what I
Worked
just,
with you a few years.
Does the
because-
county pay us taxes on any
No.
reverted properties? No, they wouldn't.
but that's what I'm saying. I just wanna make sure we're getting the money from the county or Habitat.
Well, there
or
won't
trying to
be,
get-
there won't be, I mean, there's no taxes accruing presently. So if they held on to them for 20 years,
There's
there's still
still-
gonna be no taxes. When John and Mary Smith buy the property from the county,
So
then,
until the county,
then the taxes resume.
so the county, until they
Correct.
sell them
From
or
there.
deed them over to someone else, we will not get taxes on them.
Right.
Why,
While the
why,
county owns it, we will not get taxes.
why is that?
Because right now the county doesn't pay taxes and they never would.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, I
So-
just wanted to get it all
No,
clear. in my
that's right.
head.
and We're
Okay.
working through this until it's sold
Okay,
by,
yeah.
The
gotcha.
county's just asking us if we're willing to waive these
Right.
fees, whatever they are, so that,
So they can get it back.
they
to the
could get it
tax roll.
sold and back on tax. Because right now they're not saleable to the county.
Right.
I make the motion.
So what is
What's
your
your-
exact motion?
Oh, God.
Hold on one
I-
second.
I had one with the contingency, but basically it was, I moved that the Charter Township of Alpena waive all unpaid special assessments owing for the following described parcels of real property. And then I had subject to the following contingency, which
I don't really want it.
I don't think you want the contingency. So it would just be, I move that the Charter Township of Alpena waive all unpaid special assessments owing for the following described parcels of real property. And then I've listed the tax ID numbers for the 7 parcels.
Okay.
I'll support that.
Is there any other discussion?
Should we put in there that it's valued at up to this 146 or don't?
No,
Don't need to do
now
any
it
of that?
doesn't matter. That was
Okay.
for the board's information,
Okay.
just so they knew what they were dealing with.
Okay,
I would just hope that the county is fair with however they're divvying those up. So maybe they use Habitat this time and use a different group the next time or to spread it around. Yeah, I get that.
it's their choice.
It's the county trip.
Is there any other discussion?
Treasurer Ellery Summers,
Yes.
trustee Kroll,
Yes.
trustee Reiner.
Yes.
Trustee Foley,
Yes.
trustee Lappin,
Yes.
clerk Plavich, yes. Supervisor Kozibowski.
Yes.
Thanks.
I'll motion carried. Okay. Next item.
I'm sorry.
It's a proposal.
What's that? You said proposal.
The land bank.
You're gonna take
Wherever it goes.
Yeah, what are we on?
the water, sewer billing.
Yeah.
You wanna actually take it? Chime in.
Well, we already made a motion to, right, right.
You were talking about.
Yeah.
About Angela.
Or might be Michelle. About it? No. Oh, the board.
That's their choice.
Okay. Or whoever can get those. Think of that when you're.
Because I don't need another neighbor for the second lot that's not paying the extra tax.
I don't know if I understood that, but you can explain it to me after.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the water sewer billing, item number D under old business and the introduction of a sewer and water ordinance amendment. Thank you guys for.
You're welcome.
Attorney Bolton, go ahead.
All right. Okay. Okay, at the last meeting, discussion came up about quarterly versus monthly billing for water and sewer charges, and the motion was to have the township attorney draft an ordinance amendment. The history of this is the water and sewer ordinance was completely revamped a while ago, 8, 9, 10 years ago. And in the ordinance, there's a provision that talked about quarterly billing. There wasn't any statutory requirement that that be set forth in an ordinance, but it was. And so when you changed a number of months ago to monthly billing, well, it's locked into the ordinance, so let's amend the ordinance to call for from quarterly to monthly. And then the discussion last week or last month was having me draft some language, make that more flexible so that the board can decide. If you decided, we don't have to amend the ordinance every single time. You know, if circumstances call for changes. And so I tried to keep it simple, basically just amending section 19.2, water meter readings and water and sewage billings. All water meters shall be read by the township either monthly or quarterly at the township's discretion. And water and sewage billing shall be rendered either monthly or quarterly at the township's discretion, and shall become due and payable on or before the 15th day of the month. If we amend the ordinance that way, then you can make decisions as a board through simple motion.
I like the way you did it.
Tweaking it.
I like the way you did it. Because it gives us the option of going back and forth without messing with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this ordinance amendment doesn't automatically change it from monthly back to quarterly, gives you that discretion to do so.
So if we approve the introduction, then we approve this ordinance at the next meeting, we'd still have to make a motion
Yeah.
to decide how we're going to bill, whether monthly, quarterly.
And
or-
if you did that we'd also do a resolution to adjust the rates, the schedule of rates and
Rates.
charges
Okay.
too. So we'd always keep that in mind too.
Okay.
That those numbers will change.
Didn't we already pass that motion? Or we changed the ordinance, but didn't we pass the motion to change it to
We did.
yeah, that's what I thought.
And now this is giving us.
This is just giving us the,
Flexibility.
What you're talking about with the rates and fees, we would be changing basically that, service and infiltration. Would we be adjusting that back?
Remember, I think it may have been, not sure if it was you, Michelle, or not, but on the last page of the schedule, quarterly minimum water and sewer billing charges. And so that had to be adjusted in monthly. And so there were some adjustments that way. And some of the language, I've got the old schedule, I didn't get the revised one, were some of these may have been, yeah, some of them, yeah, monthly, some were references to monthly. So just making sure we're clean on all of that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll continue to remind everyone that if that we get the math right, the numbers right, if changes are made.
Well, I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance number 160.
Support.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Kroll,
Yes.
trustee Reiner.
yes.
Trustee Polly.
Yes.
Trustee Lappin.
Yes.
Clerk Plavich, yes. Treasurer Ellery Summers.
Yes.
Supervisor Kujabaski.
Yes.
Yeah, and you got one more question then. So I've got to publish a notice of introduction of this ordinance, and in that notice, I state, and the board will consider adopting this ordinance at a meeting on such and such a date. Would this be your next regular meeting? Then, do we know at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be the end of January.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I know that, okay, so that's what I'll put in there. So, all right, thank you.
Do you wanna because the irrigation changed.
Oh, okay.
So one of the other things that we're looking at doing, is adjusting the irrigation bills. Currently, the irrigation, people with the irrigation account are billed separately. So if you have you get your regular water bill and you also have an irrigation account, you're getting separate bills.
Got 2 meters.
Yep, so our utility billing clerk went through, I looked at the accounts and, made a suggestion that we put it on one bill. So we can address that as well.
But they don't get charged for sewer charges on the irrigation,
The irrigation does not get a sewer.
and they can keep that separate? Still put it on one bill?
Yeah, because it would be a separate,
Separate
would-
line item?
yeah,
Isn't it a separate water line? I mean,
it's a separate
separate
meter,
meter.
correct, and the bill would reflect that. If I'm not mistaken, it would just show 2 separate
Right.
amounts, but it would give a total amount.
I think that's what the city did.
Does this have to do
Our
with
office
the
had that.
ordinance?
No,
Does
it's just conversation.
Well, we're talking about rates and charges that,
Yeah.
and so Angela emailed, Abby today. And, gonna give a long explanation about the practical issues she's seeing with this problem. And so she's recommending, I'll just read it, to prevent this issue entirely, I strongly recommend we explore the process of consolidating the irrigation meter charges onto the main water accounts. By making the irrigation usage a standard line item on the main bill, customers would only need to pay one account number, eliminating the risk of misallocation and streamlining the entire payment process for both the customer and our department. This item isn't part of your schedule of rates and charges as a particular thing to be amended by resolution. So when Abby and I discussed it, I recommended just a motion to have it in our minutes so that Angela will have the authority then to do it the way she sees it.
So apparently now we're billing separately, those two are.
I just have a question about how much research did we do to figure this out to make sure it's gonna work? So we don't end up with another disaster like moving from quarterly to.
Right.
I'm just nervous about doing anything like that.
Well, and maybe we should make sure the research, and it should have been a separate item on the agenda too, because it's a whole separate thing from the ordinance, but, how much research
Talk about a lot of things, Russ.
Oh,
Yeah, so in regards to this stuff, so we were kind of noticing we had some irregularities when it came to irrigation meters. So the way the township has their irrigation meters, I've seen it installed multiple different ways within homes. Either they can be,
we can't hear you.
should I really lean in?
Okay.
I'm not gonna hold it.
Expect you to.
Yeah, is that better?
That's right.
All right, we'll keep going on then.
Thank-
So I've seen irrigation meters installed in different ways in the Alpena Township. So that when they come into a home to have an irrigation meter to feed their yard, feed the water to grass, anything that doesn't go into sewage. So I've seen it come into the home where you have the service line come in and then it separates itself out. So you have one section of water pipe that goes in just to feed the irrigation and a separate section of water comes in to feed all the domestic water. Otherwise, I've seen it where you have one pipe come in that feeds the domestic water and then a tee off that to feed the irrigation. So that shows we have it a meter that would be considered a water only account or a meter that would be subtracting from the sewer usage.
Well,
And
that's
the only way we can determine how this meter is set up is by being a physical inspection of the home. And I've not seen anything within the township's coding or ordinance saying how it's supposed to be installed, other than it needs to be accessible and it needs to be inside the home, not a crawl space.
And how much time do you and your staff have to go do that specifically? to it?
Well, we do it every time we do a meter inspection, it's just part of their routine stuff. Every time we need to have a work order there, it's one thing myself and the staff are trained to do is do inspection stuff like this.
But if we,
But if we have this issue, who knows how big it actually is? I mean, we should have some kind of standard how they are in place and how they feed, like that should be.
Absolutely.
Should be the distracting.
Right.
but if not everyone is the same, how would that all get determined with the bill, wouldn't it? know what I mean?
Honestly,
I
think
just
we're
think-
still in the middle of this
Yeah.
quarterly to monthly.
But I think
to
as
any
you-
more billing issues until we get this issue completely taken care of does not seem like the right time to make another change.
I think Angela's whole point of this is like, hey, we're noticing these issues. We want to bring it to the board for discussion to make sure, you know, that
I think it's a good thing to do. I don't think we're at a point where we can add another change to our billings till we get everything sorted out and running smoothly.
Are you saying that right now that we should table this ordinance then?
No, not the
Not the-
order.
this
Okay,
is-
okay.
This
all
is
right.
just combining the irrigation bill to
Yeah, no, I
the
understand
main.
that.
I just think, here we go. What I'm hearing is people think we're doing something with their bills to try to make more money, and now we're doing another change where we're gonna add something to their bill, and it's just gonna cause more confusion, and I think we need to get through one confusion before we jump into another.
And do you think, just so you know, we're done with the ordinance discussion?
No, I get it.
Okay, I just didn't know, because if without it being.
So how many irrigation accounts do
That's
we
what I
have
was
roughly?
I don't have that number.
Is it very many?
About 117.
Okay.
And they're only gonna be in those areas where there's sewer as well.
No,
Well, why would you need like my house, for example? I have a septic, but I also have an irrigation system.
so we have
What
some,
difference would it make to me?
because you have some accounts that have their irrigation just feed their lawn. For example, a Home Depot, Walmart, Applebee's will have an irrigation meter that's in a meter pit. That doesn't go into the sewer, and they don't have may or may not have sewer there, but they have a separate water that could be shut off with its own separate curb stop.
So really the benefit would be for those people that have that during the months where they don't irrigate, they don't get that monthly charge for.
Correct. Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
But I think if you see a problem, we should try and rectify it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like what?
But not, I mean,
Like in this case, they'll come back with some ideas for next month or the following month to strengthen
that
the
would,
ordinance.
that would be great,
Right, yeah.
but not tonight.
Right.
But to your point, Steve, the majority of people who have irrigation meters are on the sewer system as well.
Most of them.
Didn't know you could have
Correct.
an irrigation meter.
Okay. So.
What's your pleasure on that? What do you want to do with it?
I don't wanna do anything with the billings right now.
So let's get this passed and
What are we,
Get what passed?
what are you passing?
We already passed the ordinance.
oh, then let's move on.
This-
Oh,
Do you want to table this?
Yeah.
Come back to, another meeting or postpone
Just so
it
that-
or?
Oh, they
Otherwise
could
it's gonna
bring-
get forgotten and.
We just-
But they could bring
Next
a
time, let's do it.
recommendation at another meeting.
I'm not
Monthly.
even-
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
I think something like that needs to
All
be
right,
written.
moving
and
on.
it'll be
Okay.
in the minutes. Thank you.
Nathan. Chief, if you want to approach the.
Are we making a motion to bring this to Abby? Are we making a motion to bring this back? After more research?
I'm okay if we don't, cause I brought it up as part of the rates and schedule, the rates and charges, it was related, but it wasn't an agenda item, so we can deal with it
At another time.
when you need to,
Okay.
yep.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Attorney Gold. Item number E.
Okay, so last month brought to you a request to get some Milwaukee tools. 3 quotes were received. And I've given a recommendation on how I would like to try to see about purchasing. The biggest thing is when I went to each of these, gave them the same spec, but found out more information. That's why the Fitzpatrick hardware is a little bit higher than the others. But it gives us better capabilities with the recommendations that I've been given, that I'm asking for from you. Even though it's not always going with the lowest recommendation, because we can split the cost and get more for what was being originally requested if we go with both Fitzpatrick and Home Depot, based on the equipment that was discussed in the quote. With Fitzpatrick, they're going to give us larger batteries that will last longer, a longer lifetime. And one thing that wasn't included that they had there that none of the other ones had was a small battery powered pump. So what that will allow us to do, instead of calling Nate and his crew out at 3 o'clock in the morning to come pump out a hydrant, we'll be able to do it ourselves. We'll take maybe 5 minutes to do. We'll be able to drain that hydrant so it won't freeze, obviously during the winter time. So there wasn't an increase of the overall cost with the recommendation, but we're getting more that will help significantly with that total cost overall. So my recommendation is to split between Fitzpatrick Hardware and Home Depot. Fitzpatrick Hardware just over 1,400 and the Home Depot at just under 900, and that will give us multiple tools, batteries, chargers, and the pump that would be included. Yes, sir.
How were they've been you've talked to them about cherry picking this?
Yes, they're fine with
fine.
whatever they're good as long as they're able to support us is the biggest thing that I heard from both of them, that they are more than willing to do what they can to help us.
Good.
Yes.
Do your people need any special training to do the hydrant? They
No.
do now?
No, I can do that myself for the whole department.
Cause I want to make sure Nate doesn't have to come back and say, hey, we have a fire hydrant.
If we need to, we'll have him teach us how to do it properly.
I'll make a recommendation or a motion to purchase the items as the chief has spelled out with Fitzpatrick Hardware and the Home Depot for a total of $2,321.99.
Second.
Any other discussion?
Trustee Reiner,
Yes.
trustee Polly,
Yes.
trustee Lappin.
Yes.
Clerk Plavich, yes. Treasurer Ellery Summers.
Yes.
Trustee Kroll,
Yes.
Supervisor Kozibowski.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
I need a new business.
We're gonna get there. Item number 1 under new business is the 2026 poverty exemption resolution.
Yeah, to talk about this, this is the annual request from our assessor, Alan Berg. Every year, the federal government issues new guidelines for the upcoming year, 2026. And this concerns the poverty exemption regarding property taxes. So the form remains mostly the same, except for the box at the top of page 2 that provides the various dollar amounts for the various numbers of people in a household. And so we do this by resolution, or that's what Mr. Berg requests. And so I'm asking that somebody move to adopt the 2026 resolution for property exemption.
So moved.
Support.
Any other conversation? Discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Polly,
Yes.
trustee Lappin.
Yes.
Clerk Plavich, yes. Treasurer Ellery Summers.
Yes.
Trustee Kroll,
Yes.
Trustee Reiner.
Yes.
Supervisor Kozibowski.
Yes,
Thank you.
motion carried. Item number 2, the employee compensation committee resolutions.
Brought my suitcase. You went through this. Everybody but Abby 2 years ago when the Compensation Commission was first formed. And you adopted an ordinance, followed the statutory procedures to accomplish that. And Mr. Francisco was on the initial commission, and he's the chairman of the current commission, and he's here tonight. And I think the best start for this process would be for me to read portion of the statute, get my head on straight, and there's one portion of the statute that is pertinent to where we're at right now in this process. Commission has met and did their research and had open meetings and kept minutes, and then made salary determinations, and I assisted with the format for resolutions, and the statute calls for resolutions. So your package should contain the resolutions adopted by the commission regarding each salary determination. So now I'll shut up and read the statute. The commission shall determine, this is from MCL 42.6A subsection B. The commission shall determine the salary for each township elected official, which determination shall be the salary unless the township board by resolution adopted by 2/3 of the members elected to and serving on the board rejects the determination. The determination of the commission shall be effective 30 days following its filing with the township clerk unless rejected by the township board. If a determination is rejected, the existing salary shall prevail. And so one question that comes up, and I got my head on straight about this, did the research, and each determination is a separate determination subject to that 2/3 vote rule. So it's not all or nothing. It's if the board wanted to do a 2/3 vote, to be at least 5 members, to reject a determination as to a particular salary determination that's available. Or the board someone could move to reject all. As we did 2 years ago, when we received the determinations from the commission, such motions weren't made as to any of the determinations. And so they just stood, no affirmative action.
There was a motion made, but it didn't have support
Oh, okay, but, okay,
to reject one
Yep.
of the resolutions.
gotcha, thank you. And,
Oh, that's right.
so, if such a motion doesn't, pass, then the determinations kick in. The statute talks about being effective 30 days following the filing. What that means is the time is expired for the board to reject the determination. The next fiscal year is when
These will kick in.
when they kick in, right? And, so that is where we.
And they're 3% across the board on all 3 people.
Yes, yeah, good point. Let me just get that out here. So, yep, all identical for the 3. So first, they're dealing with 2 upcoming years, effective April 1st, fiscal years, effective April 1st, 2026, increase present salary by 3%. Next, effective April 1st, 2027, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics Consumer Price Index, CPI, inflation calculator shall be used to calculate the increase in inflation, if any, between January 2025 and January 2026, and the salary should be adjusted accordingly. And there's a website from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics that's a simple calculator where the current salary is plugged in. So I can assist with this because I gave it a test run. Yeah, and it was very user friendly, and it does the computation based on that inflation amount for this one, it would be between January 2025 and January 2026, and does the math for
And
us.
that's to establish the pay effective April 1st, 2027.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So it's a year behind.
Right.
It's
Almost 2 years behind in some cases.
yeah, and it's just the nature of the beast as far as gets us the most recent available from their tables and their calculator.
So there's no minimum or no maximum, whatever the CPI
Yeah,
happens to be.
and if
it
there was
happens
a
to be.
0% year of inflation, according to that, there wouldn't be an increase. It can't go backwards by statute. So if there was deflation or something, who knows?
Well, it won't be.
Well, it could be.
What is
Our
the
country goes
average
bankrupt.
consumer price index? What is it?
It's probably gonna be somewhere around 2.5% to 3.5%.
I believe the commission grabbed the 3% number based on that. So,
Okay, that makes
yeah.
sense.
And I think the other window that we looked at up to like year to date now is like 1.6.
Yeah,
So we did not go with that for the following year. We wanted to have a more current and reflective period of time. That's why you see that in our second part of the list.
And commission members reached out to me with questions and were real helpful from my standpoint, made my job a lot easier. So thanks very much for your efforts.
Now, this didn't impact trustees or trustees.
No,
And it
we
doesn't
did that the last time,
Yeah.
and the commission caught that, well, it's a per diem payment, and dug into some MTA materials, and it's not 100% clear, but I agreed with them, gave it some good thought, dug into the materials, and I agree that per diem's a different animal. But so that gives you the freedom as a board to make that determination, whether it's part of your budgeting process or looking at inflation, however you want to do it. You could be consistent with what the compensation commission did with the others, or look at other boards, see what comparable per diems are. So you've got that freedom. Well, that's the end of my presentation, and again, so
And there's nothing we need to do with that, Tim.
no, there isn't. Just if there's before we leave this agenda item, if there are any motions to be made, now would be the time.
Can we do them all in one shot, or they have to be separate?
If
You're only doing it to decline the resolution.
you're doing it to, if
The only reason we'd make a motion was if we would decline.
yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to do a motion to confirm the determination stands,
so they stay, yeah.
lacking any action from the board.
Are there any motions?
I have a question for Tim.
Sure.
What if we decided we didn't want to have an employee compensation committee anymore? And go back to the old awkward conversations during budget time?
Yeah, I did come across as doable. It'd be an ordinance to repeal the prior ordinance.
I just wish that they would talk to all of us, every member on the board, and find out exactly what people are doing and not doing, and the level of responsibilities, because when you write it down on a piece of paper, it doesn't look like much.
And in the commission's minutes, they're not the meeting at which they adopted the resolutions, but the prior one, they've got a list of recommendations too for the next session of the commission. So you're also free, we're all free to take those into account. And when the time comes for the next session, if you continue with the commission, to say, okay, here's our guidance, here are the things, that could be done to assist with the process. You're free to, it's not, you don't have to be hands off that way. I mean, you can.
And we can attend their meetings, right?
Open meetings, yeah.
Absolutely. Nobody attended. Step on that.
Black attended?
Say again, sir?
You said somebody else attended?
No one attended, but the commission members, even though I was part of the Open Meetings Act and meeting for all.
I didn't even know about the third meeting.
I had other personal things going on in my life. I wasn't able to attend, but I would just like to comment when this commission was first established. I really truly thought that the compensation commission would have talked to each of us. I mean, the trustees were included, but talk to you. What do you do? What do you think of so-and-so? How do you think they're doing, or whatever? None of that was done originally. And the supervisor at the time got a substantial increase compared to what the clerk got and what I received, without really talking to, I don't know if they talked to the supervisor at the time, but they didn't talk to me. And I made that I just felt like it was really a jab because I know what I do. Do I just come in every day and read a book or let everybody else do the work? Or do I jump in and get on other committees and do extra stuff, try to set internal controls for my office and all these other things? I didn't get that opportunity at the time. And then when the raises were established at that time, it was the clerk and I would get a 3% raise where the supervisor would get a 6% increase. And then that supervisor did not get reelected. So the new supervisor comes in making this substantial amount of money, more than the clerk and I, and then still gets a 6% increase on top of twice as much as we were getting. And this time I thought again, we would be able to talk to the compensation committee, which they voted down. They didn't want us to give us that opportunity, but they did want to ask us to write down what we do. What do we do? How, and it was very specific. It was, what do you do on a daily basis? Whatever. How much time do you spend doing this? We don't have time to write down specifically. I spend 3 hours a day, doing this. I spend 15 minutes a day doing this. We're very busy. We are minimal offices with minimal staff. That's what we're running on. And I did give it my best effort to submit what I do and what I offer this township. And I could have went on and on and on, but I can't take away from my other duties. I don't know if the other the supervisor and clerk submitted their information. I believe the clerk did, but that was something that was asked of us and we did it. And to me, I don't agree with, even the 3% increase is okay, but taking a gamble at everything else down the road. One other thing I'd really like to make clear is that when the new supervisor was elected, and I know because of conflict of interest that we said we did not want the new supervisor to be the personnel officer because of conflicts of interest, that the clerk took on those duties. And she's been doing those duties for an entire year, which just recently changed. Has she been compensated? No, the supervisor got paid basically to do those personnel committee jobs and HR duties. That was the supervisor's job that the clerk's been doing for a year. I feel that the clerk should, whether it's part of this getting a raise or if it's a stipend, if she should get X amount of dollars for doing that over this past year, but she should be compensated for that. So that's my 2 cents, but talk about somebody that is organized, that is on it, that is at meetings, that converses, that takes care of things in a timely manner. That's your clerk. So that's my, you're welcome because you deserve it.
Bert, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
This commission does all their work on what the position is and not the person, is that correct?
That's correct. We asked for, the request was for statutory duties and responsibilities and unstatutory, non-statutory duties and responsibilities as assigned by the trustees. In other words, what we were looking for is what you all as a board tasked them to do that would be outside their statutory duties and responsibilities. You looked at the space, not the face of the space.
But there's more, in my opinion, that goes, you could have 2 people. And it is the position, I get that, but you could have somebody that is gonna go above and beyond their call of duty and somebody else that is gonna do the bare minimum. And I know since I've been here, I have given my above and beyond what I can do for.
That's not the compensation commission's duties.
I understand that, but it affects to me, if I'm paying somebody to do a job and you're gonna do the bare minimum, but this person over here is gonna go above and beyond, I get what you're saying, but this person to me totally deserves more than this person that's doing the bare necessities. So that's my 2 cents again.
Is there any other discussion? Any motions on the table?
Okay, so we're not making motions about, can we
No.
make a motion about these?
Again,
Yeah.
And it's only to deny? Yes. then I would like to make a motion to deny the supervisor's, increase.
Support. Motion fails. Any other motions?
Can we do more discussion right now or not?
Not if there's no motions on the board.
Okay.
No, we don't take any affirmative action, and if such a motion isn't going to pass.
So moving on to item number 3 under new business, the planning commission consultant. You'll see in your packets that Rick Sewell has sent an email stating that he is intending to retire and close his office. He has been providing the planning services to the township for the past 12 years. I did reach out to Denise Klein at NEMCOG and asked her if she would be interested in taking on that responsibility. We do have a planning agreement with NEMCOG. We would still be paying Denise similarly to what we were paying Rick. We would be paying her per plan that she would evaluate for the planning commission. If the board is interested in having NEMCOG continue on that.
And that's where Rick's at, right? Is that what you said?
No, Rick was separate from NEMCOG. He did work for, would have been before my time. I believe he worked for NEMCOG and then created his separate,
Oh,
his own business.
we have anybody
Well,
else that's doing that?
There are other people. I just reached out to Denise because we already have an agreement with NEMCOG to do other planning. They do, as you know, Denise does the zoning.
So how much would it cost us through NEMCOG as compared to what we were paying Rick?
So Rick's bills were a little bit difficult for me to understand because he just lumped them, like I'll give a lump price. It looked like he was charging about $160 per plan. I believe Denise's is about 130.
What's less?
I can vouch for her work.
Yes.
Well, Denise is the one who gave us the 4 items of criteria for that planning commission case. She wrote that up so nicely for us.
Worked with her
So
dozens of times for many municipalities.
I think Denise will be, she's always been wonderful to work with.
And she is amenable.
Klein.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, she
Her
was.
husband,
Do we have to do we enter into an agreement with them or?
We already are in an agreement with them.
So just
it would
gonna
Yep, we won't have
extension?
to change anything.
Oh, we don't need a motion.
The only thing is, do we need to
Amend the agreement?
accept Rick's resignation?
No, he's just an independent contractor
Okay.
who's provides services on a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
So do we need
We
any
can't-
motion at all?
No, we can't deny his ability to retire.
Well, no, I don't think we need a motion. Well, I mean, we can for the minutes to following Rick Duell's
Resignation.
resignation, that Denise Klein will be used for planning consult.
I'll make that
planning
motion.
commission Consult purpose.
Support.
Motion by
Ryan.
Ryan, support by Foley.
Yes. Voice vote for him?
Before you go to the next one, I still have a question on, so what did we do with this?
What is
So
that?
nothing, because the only thing to be done would have been a motion to
To approve.
reject
No.
compensation commission
Reject it.
determination, and a motion was made but not supported. No other motions were forthcoming, so we don't have to do anything.
So the 3% go in place.
Yep, the determination's going to place.
Sorry about that.
Pardon me?
You need to complete it or you?
For Denise Klein to be,
You're good.
replace Rick Duell as the planning commission consultant.
And this needs to be a roll call for that because we will be paying her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trustee Lappin,
Yes.
Clerk Plavich, yes. Treasurer Ellery Summers,
Yes.
Trustee Kroll,
Yes.
Trustee Reiner.
Yes.
Trustee Polly.
Yes.
Supervisor Kujabaski.
Yes. Motion carried. Moving on to item number 4, the Alpena County Road Commission. This is an invoice that we received for work that was finished, quite a few months ago. Go ahead.
Why did we need pebbles on memory lane?
It's the intersection. It's the intersection of Pebble Road and Memory Lane Road.
Those are two roads.
I needed that.
I
Thank
was
you.
trying to figure this out. I said,
I'm sorry.
I
You know,
thought they were dumping.
You can call me anytime and ask. I would have been happy to explain that to you.
Well, now I
Um,
got an explanation, bro.
Yeah. So this is a culvert that was causing issues. It had been struck by plows, et cetera, with a sharp edge. We happen to be having F&V in within the same block doing a service line repair. So the road commission contacted us I contacted the road commission and asked if they would be able to repair that culvert while we had the crew there to save us money in the excavation costs. So they agreed to do that.
Whose blades were hitting this?
Not the townships.
No.
Yeah, the
I
county road
presume the road commission's plows.
But as you're aware, they are an enigma and they don't have to
Fix anything
fix
they
it.
damage.
Yes,
Including your mailbox, by the way.
correct.
I suppose we could put in an insurance claim and let the insurance companies fight it out.
That's right. That's your alley.
I love it. If you think
We can
you
talk
do
about that.
go ahead.
Anyway, so this is, again.
This is our half of it.
Yeah, and Julie had apologized. It took them quite some time to get the invoice from the contractor who did the work, so.
Oh,
this
okay,
is
so,
right with it.
all right, so this represents our half of the deal, not the full amount.
Right.
Oh, I got you. All right.
Now, does this come out of water sewer or does it come out of general?
Highway.
General
street-
fund, highway, streets and bridges is the GL on it.
101, okay.
Who was the contractor? I don't know. It's not our.
It could have been one of two. But it either
Oh,
did,
yeah.
right there.
Yes, it does.
I'll make a motion to pay it.
Okay, support. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Clerk Plavich, yes. Treasurer Ellery Summers.
Yes.
Trustee Kroll,
Yes.
Trustee Reiner.
Yes.
Trustee Polly.
Yes.
Trustee Lappin.
Yes.
Supervisor Kozibowski.
Yes, motion carried. Okay, that's, thank you.
Here he comes again. Already over budget for next year.
Oh, this is last year.
I know.
We're getting closer. Price materials has not gone down.
Honestly, I don't think going over budget by $5,525.01 with the ice storm we
Exactly.
had, I think.
And we were still able,
really
we
well.
were still able to accomplish quite a bit last year with having 2 lift stations completely rehabbed, with new HOA panels, including the one at French Road and the one at Lay Road Lift Station, which are critical infrastructure.
I'll make a motion to pay this invoice as presented.
Support. Any other discussion?
The only other discussion that I have is, does this include any of the subcontractors that haven't paid, or is this up to date?
This is up to date. That's why it took it so long to get it to you, because
Alright.
this was from the end of,
Not include digs though, like with MacArthur's and Bedrock.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Those,
so
we have
those are
not
separate.
we've gotten
And
actually.
that's billed, that's because we contracted.
that is correct,
through F&B.
to save that
Okay.
5% admin sheet charge.
Well, I agree with Michelle. This is great that we're getting to a place where this used to be 250,000.
Right.
Oh, any other discussion? Roll call.
Treasurer Ellery Summers.
Yes.
Trustee Kroll,
Yes.
Trustee Reiner.
Yes.
Trustee Polly.
Yes.
Trustee Lappin.
Yes.
Clerk Plavich, yes. Supervisor Kozibowski.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. The next items on the agenda are the Board of Review and the Planning Commission resignations. I received last week, Tuesday, a resignation from Kathy Mushinsky, who has very gracefully served on the Board of Review for the past 20 years. She notified me that she would like to step down and allow somebody else to take on that task. So I have that resignation for us. Do you want us to accept those individually?
Yeah, me as well, to keep the minutes straight.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the resignation from Kathleen Mashinsky from Board of Review.
I'll support.
Any discussion? All those in favor, voice vote?
Yep.
All those in favor of accepting the resignation from Kathleen Nushinsky from the Board of Review, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose the same. Thank you. The next resignation that I received is from Roxanne Brown, who is a member of our Planning Commission, and that's included in your packet as well.
I'll make a motion, we approve the resignation from Roxanne Brown regarding for planning commission.
Support.
Do you have any discussion?
Just, do you have people to replace these people? or-
I'm trying, but if you remember last year, trying to find someone to sit on the Board of Review was very difficult.
So you're probably
I need
welcoming
to-
any suggestions?
Yeah, I'm happy to take any suggestions. I did reach out to somebody for the Planning Commission, who has taken on a full-time job and has decided that she would prefer to work on that, instead of putting her toes into something else. So, I wanted to wait until we discuss it at the board before I posted it on Facebook, and put it on the website to see if there was anybody interested. Definitely am happy to take any recommendations of anybody who may be interested. Any other discussion? All those in favor of accepting the resignation of Roxanne Brown from the Planning Commission, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
We have another resignation.
Yeah, it's Chris Stevens from the fire department. Everybody, he sent the email to everybody, so you all got it directly.
Oh, you know, that's, I got that.
So I did not put it in the board packet. I'll make a motion to accept his resignation.
Or,
Any discussion? All those in favor of accepting the resignation of Chris Stevens from the fire department, please signify by saying aye.
Okay.
Opposed, the same. Thank you.
That went into effect.
The 10th of December.
Oh, he's already, oh.
Yes.
Item number 8, the 2026 volunteer fire capacity project agreement.
Yes, so this is just, we were awarded the 26 volunteer fire capacity project agreement or grant. This is a match grant through the DNR. We spoke about it last year, to seek this grant. It's a continuation. I think we've received it at least for the past 3 years. So we're just using that money that we upfront and recycling it through each time. So it's about $5,000 from us. We get 5 extra thousand to help purchase equipment. So all this is your acceptance in that grant. If you do accept it, we already have, what we intend to purchase off of that. It's wildland, gear, packs, fire shelters, and some other equipment for wildland, firefighting.
I'll make a motion to, accept the 2026 Volunteer Fire Capacity Project Agreement Grant for $4,800 with our match.
I'll support.
Any discussion? All those roll call, please.
Trustee Lappin.
Yes.
Clerk Flavich, yeah. Treasurer Ellery Summers.
Yes.
Trustee Kroll,
Yes.
Trustee Reiner.
Yes.
Trustee Polly.
Yes.
Supervisor Kozibowski.
Yes. Motion carried. Item number 9, the fire department memo of understanding.
So just to give you a little info on this, this is a MOU with Local 1859 to change temporarily the way that open full-time shifts are kind of handed out or signed up for. Currently, because of open shifts, they wanted to make it a little bit easier so we don't have continuous burnout for the current staff. In making sure that they're not using their normal process where they're taking the lowest person who has overtime, that it's opening that up for the 3 particular ones that are filling the shifts. Because we will be looking at losing 2 other full-time staff members in the near future. So they're anticipating even more openings. And it also allows our paid on call staff to take shifts based on the current contract. So it's just really rewording some of the language that's currently in the contract, which they came and saw out because they didn't want to burn out and they wanted to make sure that they were being fair and open with the shifts to everybody. The initial one came through and upon some legal advice, some changes were made, but they agreed in those changes as well. Just basically took some redundancy out and it took pieces out that were not really involved in the process of filling shifts. So that's kind of the 2-cent version of it.
I just have one question. When I read it, it says, if the qualified paid on call members cannot fill the entire 24-hour shift, then the chief may cover open hours on dates and times during the normal work week, excluding holidays, blah, blah, blah. So if a full-time person can only cover 12 hours, you can't cover the other 12? Because it says just paid on call members.
So what happens if the full-time will take whatever is open? And then it's up to the paid on call. If they can't, that means that the full-time didn't pick up those hours to begin with. So then it would be essentially nobody covering those hours.
So would we be closing a station?
That's why I put in that I would cover as a needed basis during the weekday, not on nights or weekends or holidays. But otherwise, yes, it would mean that we would have to close the station. Potentially up to 12 hours, yes.
If that's the case, what, do we notify dispatch?
That would be something that we'd have to definitely notify them, so they put the page out to all the responders and not just that particular station, yes.
Okay. Jim had a comment.
Yeah. Jim's the president of the locals.
Yes, I'm president of the local now. The intent of that part of the memorandum of understanding was, especially on weekdays, that paid on calls have full-time jobs. They couldn't work a 24-hour shift, but they may be able to pick up the 7P to 7A portion of the shift. This allows the chief to work the first 12 hours of the shift and then have a paid on call come in and cover the second 12, thereby keeping us from having to close the station.
Or it could be more than one.
Or it could be more than one if we can get somebody to cover a few hours here, a few hours here, a few hours
Just
here.
as long as it's covered.
Correct. And that was the intent of the chief covering a portion of the shift was during the weekdays that paid on calls can't work 7A to 7P. And, you know, if the full timers have been picking up multiple shifts, we do have it in our contract. We are only allowed to work 48 hours except in extraordinary circumstances.
72.
Was it 72?
It's 72.
Okay, it's 72, but still trying to prevent having the full timers working 3-4 days, 5 days in a row or more. So it was the union's hope to have this just suspending the normal way of we dished out overtime hours of, as the chief said, the lowest person, having to call that person, add the hours, call the next person, add the hours, call the next person. By opening it up this way, it's who can work what days, and let's get through this period until we can return to full staffing.
How does that, I don't see a timeline on this, given what we might be looking at into the future. Is this just sort of open-ended then?
No, there is a timeline.
No,
It is February 1st unless mutually extended or mutually rescinded prior to that
Oh,
date.
I didn't see it here. There it is.
Page 2.
Got it.
So it has to be mutually, if we have to extend it past February 1st, both the union and the board have to approve that.
Yeah.
or if we are able to get people hired in and get them up to speed to where we don't have to have all this overtime, we can mutually agree to rescind this prior to February 1st.
Gotcha. And so then, I presume you've had conversation with not only full-time staff, but paid on call as well, and everybody's sort of buying into the.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so far we've covered all current open shifts and potential open shifts through the end of January with, I think, the exception of 12 hours on one day.
Great.
Oh, you have done that?
Yes.
And do you have a full-time person, at least at the other station?
Yes. Yeah, we don't have two paid on calls working
That's what I want.
at the same time.
Cool.
Well, and it's nice to see that you guys are working together to come up with this to resolve an issue, so that's.
Well, and I look at it as, it was the easiest way to be able to fill all of these shifts and do it fairly and not put the onus on one individual or just one or two individuals to cover all these potential open shifts.
Yeah, no, it's great. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. And it's gonna get harder as we move. This was just the result of one person leaving on short notice. We've got another that potentially could be leaving mid-January. We just don't know what their expected hire date at the new facility or their new department. And then the third is we're just waiting to find out what his plan is. So, you know, having a heads up is vitally important to us. I gave you a timeline of hiring in the packet to kind of give you an idea of how long this will take. Tomorrow, we start that process and we are taking about 3 of those sections and trying to jam it all into one day tomorrow. Unfortunately, it's great that we've got 3 people, but those 3 people have about 6 months experience between all 3 of them.
It's quick learners.
Do we need a motion or
We need a motion to accept this.
To accept the agreement.
make a
yeah.
motion that we accept the memorandum of understanding between the Alpena Township Fire Department and the IAFF Local 1859.
Support.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Clerk Palovich, yes. Treasurer Ellery Summers.
Yes.
Trustee Kroll,
Yes.
Trustee Reiner.
Yes.
Trustee Foley,
Yes.
Trustee Lappin.
Yes.
Supervisor Kozibowski.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The Eagle grant.
Email resolution, yeah, I've got the resolution. I can read it
Yeah.
out loud. Yep, this was an addition to the agenda. Abby was emailed by an Eagle person who's assisting with a grant issue. I'll just read the resolution that I drafted today. Whereas the Charter Township of Alpena needs a zoning ordinance update, and whereas the Charter Township of Alpena needs a wetland inventory, and whereas the Charter Township of Alpena has over 44 miles of Lake Huron shoreline, and whereas the Charter Township of Alpena desires to ensure that the character and the coastal resources of the county are protected and can be enjoyed by residents and visitors, and whereas funding is available from the U.S. Department of Commerce through the Water Resources Division of the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy, and whereas the total project cost is estimated to be $25,000, 50% of which would be funded through the Water Resources Division, and 50% would be local match. Now therefore be it resolved that the Charter Township of Alpena Board of Trustees approves the submission of the grant application to the Water Resources Division in the amount of $25,000 for a zoning ordinance update and wetland inventory, and commits that the local match shall be provided if the project is funded. And this wording came from the Eagle representative, said this is the resolution that they need to proceed.
Where would
Question.
I'm sorry. I just wonder where our 50%.
Yeah.
Who, was this from general fund? Would this be, where would that come from?
Is it for this fiscal year or next
It
fiscal
will be
year?
for next fiscal year. So this is actually would be a continuation of the coastal grant that we have right now, which the previous supervisor had applied for, I think in 2023, and there was some kind of funding issues. So this was a grant that I stepped into last year when I got sworn into office. And the representative from Eagle that I'm working with to do this grant had made a recommendation to me last week, Monday, that he felt that we should ask for the grant again to continue on because so the grant that we have right now is writing the coastal chapter for our master plan, which we're doing jointly. There's some things that need to be, there's some work that needs to be done in addition to just changing the master plan. And he recommended using this grant to make those changes, to do the studies for the wetlands and the zoning that would need to be changed.
But we're gonna have to allocate then 12,500.
Yep.
for half of this.
And
So that
I'll
come out
have
of
to-
planning commissions, planning services, or?
I will look and see where the funding for the postal grant is coming out of right now. Because off the top of my head, I don't.
So you think it was into the current budget that we're not gonna spend this year?
It will be for next fiscal year.
Right, so, but are you saying, you said you had to look at something? that
Oh,
already
for the line
existed?
item number. I don't know it off the top of my head.
And I think that last time we did this, it would have been 2 budgets ago. Would it, not in this budget, but the previous
Correct,
year's
because
budget?
it was prior to me taking office. It was just, it should have been completed before I took office, but there was an issue on the government and on Eagle's end of it, so they couldn't get the grant rolling.
Yeah, I
So
remember talking about this.
So you think we
adopted
already,
A prior resolution specifically for wetland, it was coastal resiliency grant.
so we already allocated the money back then, but didn't spend it?
No, it's,
Well, basically, yes, because we would have had a resolution to agree to the 12,500. So somewhere that 12,500 wasn't spent.
Well, it went, then it
We
went
did
into our
it,
But I
reserve.
don't think we did it.
we are doing that right now. That is a project that is happening right now. The end of this month is actually the closeout for this grant.
I don't know what
But
that
this
meant.
is a continuation.
This would be,
of-
so it would be a separate grant, but it would be, the work would be continuing, the work on the grant that they're doing now. So the grant that's happening right now is writing the coastal chapter of our joint master plan for the county. Our grant funding through this resiliency grant has allowed for that chapter to be written into the master plan. There are some updates and things that will need to happen with our zoning, that the planning commission will need to look at regarding our setbacks. And one of the things that Huron Pines has recommended is doing a wetlands inventory in the joint master plan. And so applying for this grant for the next fiscal year will allow us to use that funding. Will allow us to use funding to do that inventory and to do the zoning updates.
But I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the question though, that I have, maybe you've answered, but I don't think so, is whether or not that 12.5 or whatever it was back 2 years ago when we approved a motion has been spent or has been
It's-
put in reserve.
It's in reserve right now. It's not been spent yet. We haven't received the invoices from them. And Huron needs to finish it out. I should be receiving those in the next week because that grant closes out at the end of this month.
So the question then becomes, are we spending 12.5 twice? Are we spending that for now to pay whoever you say we're paying? Because I thought Eagle didn't put their half in.
Yes, Eagle
But-
put their half.
I'm wondering exactly the
Right,
same
because you're
thing.
saying the work, like if we're gonna get a bill now, and then when this happens, we're gonna
Right.
get another bill next
Right.
year, then we'll have to budget.
Right.
Yes.
I can chime in, the 2023 resolution was for related but different work.
Oh.
So it's not a repeat, because I just used the prior.
So they're asking us for this similar amount of money, but for something else.
Supplemental work related to coastal resiliency.
So my question then is, if Eagle didn't do their part, do they still owe us 12.5?
I'm not sure.
That's a really good question.
I don't
I guess
understand
I'm
why
not
you-
understanding why you think Eagle didn't do their part.
Because
She
it's a
said it didn't
50-50
go through.
grant.
No, she said it didn't go through right away, but then it did
Oh,
go through.
right.
That's why it's taken 2
The-
years.
Right, so this, the end of this grant ends at the end of this month, and it should have been completed. And
Before you were elected, you said.
correct, but because of things that I don't know about or have control about through the government, the grant it didn't start. So it started last year in December. And it's coming to completion now. This is the fourth quarter right now. But I have no control over when that happened.
So do we
But-
just push that money forward? That what we would have otherwise,
I'm not sure, and this is
Okay.
where I'm saying, so I wasn't
Okay.
involved in that, and I'm assuming that it was budgeted for in 2023 when the grant
Yeah.
was applied for, but it didn't come to fruition for whatever reason.
yeah,
So no, so this is something that last year I didn't even know about until it was already happening because it
Well,
was
if we
already.
got 12.5,
accepted.
we would have known that though, wouldn't we?
Did we pay the 12.5?
I don't think so.
Yes, we're
Oh, we-
paying it.
Oh, we didn't
Well,
pay
we
yet.
didn't.
We've paid part of it. They haven't completed the work and sent us the invoices for this quarter that we're in right now.
So whatever,
We submit the reports quarterly. So I'm waiting on the invoices from NEMCOG and Huron Pines for this quarter now to submit.
That's list, Michelle.
I don't think so. I don't know. I'd have to look at
so the
that.
question is, when we pay it, we're only paying half of it.
We would be paying $12.50 or however much of it we've used to match with them, yes. It's matching.
So
Yeah,
like if we
uh,
pay 8,000, then we get 4,000 from Eagle. Up to
Oh, it's a
12,500.
reimbursement?
No, it's a matching. It is a reimbursement, yes, but it's a matching.
So we pay the
So
full
we
12.
pay it, we get reimbursed.
Right.
Right.
Gotcha.
All right, there we go.
Gotcha.
Does that answer your question?
Now it
Like
does.
a roundabout way to get there, I apologize.
Yeah.
Got it?
I'm in.
Okay, so this is similar work, not the same work,
Yeah,
different grant, a different grant cycle.
and it's a reimbursement.
So I'm gonna make a motion to accept that resolution as presented.
Or any other conversation, discussion?
No rest of it?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, roll call, please.
Treasurer Ellery Summers.
Yes.
Trustee Kroll,
Yes.
Trustee Reiner.
Yes.
Trustee Polly.
Yes.
Trustee Lappin.
Yes,
Clerk Flavich, yes. Supervisor Kujabaski.
Yes. Motion carried. I will let you guys know what line item that is.
You're gonna do public comment before we do close session?
Yeah, it's fine with me. This is the second opportunity for public comment before we go into closed session. If there's anybody online with public comment, please raise your hand.
Am I unmuted now?
Yes.
Yay, finally, fourth device, and I can finally hear you and talk.
Is this Beth?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I've
State-
not experienced online public comment before, so if you can please state your name for public
I did
comment.
plan on, yeah. What,
Okay.
yes, let me
We
go
have a
ahead, the
timer
timer's going.
set. Yes. That's
Okay.
fine.
Good evening, I'm Beverly Banks, taxpayer. I am here tonight to address the public narrative that has been forming around Abby and her role and to clarify some very basic factual points that are being misrepresented. Excuse me. First and foremost, statutory duties matter. Prior to Abby taking office, this board removed the statutory personnel director duties from her position. Those duties were reassigned to the clerk's office, where they remained for approximately 1 year. At the most recent meeting, Abby formally reclaimed those statutory duties. That timeline is factual. When statutory responsibilities are removed, reassigned, and later restored, accountability for compliance during that period must rest with the office that held those duties, not be redirected after the fact. Second, context matters. A review of 9 years of published meeting minutes shows only one instance of an elected official attending a formal educational course to improve governance knowledge. That occurred in 2024 for zoning training. Thank you, Russ. One instance in 9 years. During that time, there has been no capital improvement plan, no complete and legally required human resources framework such as formal job descriptions for people actively employed at this township, and inconsistent enforcement of adopted board policies. For example, in October 2023, this board voted to restrict township vehicle use strictly to township business, prohibit non-employees from riding in township vehicles, and prevent vehicles from leaving the township. That policy has not been consistently enforced. When boards fail to follow their own voted policies, responsibility lies with governance, not staff. Third, statements made publicly about staff performance carry weight. When an elected official publicly claims that Abby is not timely, while these broader systemic failures remain unaddressed, it creates a misleading narrative and undermines morale. That is not professional governance. Fourth, the fire department. Overtime wages have been reduced and compensation drops to a lower rate, not only for training, but for the second hour and beyond while actively on a call. Despite requiring the same life skill saving skills and often increased physical and emotional demands. Some incidents last multiple hours and in some cases extend into double-digit hours. Paid on-call responders are being treated functionally as part-time employees without corresponding compensation structures. We have lost long-standing members, morale has declined, and the department is not progressing, it's regressing. All of these issues point to governance failures, not staff failures. That matters tonight because this board voted on increases to its own compensation. Raises should be tied to demonstrated leadership, accountability, legal compliance, and consistent policy enforcement. Based on the record, those benchmarks have not been met. Finally, this community deserves better. Staff deserves support, clear expectations, consistent policy enforcement, and leadership that models accountability before assigning blame.
Your time is up.
Taxpayers deserve
Banks.
transparency and governance rooted in facts, not deflection.
Ms. Banks, your time is up, so your mic has been muted. Thank you for your comment. Is there anyone else online with further public comment? Anyone in the audience with public comment? That concludes the second opportunity for public comment. I move that we enter into closed session under MCL 15.268 subsection E to discuss settlement strategy with Township Council in City of Alpena versus Charter Township of Alpena, case number 24-002721-CK, because doing so in an open meeting would have a detrimental financial effect on the township litigating and settlement positions.
Or,
Was that you, Steve?
yes.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Kroll,
Yes.
Trustee Reiner.
Yes.
Trustee Polly.
Yes.
Trustee Lappin.
Yes.
Clerk Palovich, yes. Treasurer Ellery Summers.
Yes.
Supervisor Kujabaski.
Yes. As,
Discussion.
yeah, there's opportunity for any, yeah,
Discussion.
yes.
I would like to bring back to this board and talk more about the recycling and what we're doing with those bins out there, and are we properly covered, and what if somebody has an accident, are we insured, are we in good shape?
Would
Does
you,
anybody have to?
would you like me to have the executive director come to our next board meeting and give a little, or if there's specific questions you have, if you,
No,
yeah,
I'm
let me
just
know.
thinking, Are we let somebody come in and put their dumpsters out here that's
Recycle bins. They're
Did we
not
get any
dumpsters.
evidence of their insurance?
Oh,
Michelle,
Pardon me?
did we get any evidence of the insurance since it's their bins?
No, but we can ask,
I think
I
we
can
should.
ask Bailey to
don't
get
you
us.
think we should have that kind of?
Same stuff, additional insured, all the usual things
Yeah, who has to pay for that?
that they do.
They would.
Yeah, it's
Okay, but
just
have
be
we done any of
relisted.
that?
No, but I will get a hold of Bailey tomorrow and
Yeah.
request a
And what,
certificate.
do we have any kind of agreement with them if all of a sudden we decide we want them out of here? What are we gonna do?
We don't have anything in writing.
Should we have an agreement?
We're a part of the recycling Northeast Michigan community
Well, I'm just saying, think of,
management.
authority, right?
I
We're one
know
of-
it's good for, I'm not against it, don't get me wrong, I've been thinking about this, and they brought these in, and are we properly covered? We got all of our, we step on everything else, and it seems like we're just dancing around this.
I think the simple answer is yes. And once we get evidence of insurance, then if something happens as a result of their negligence, it's their problem. If something happens as a result of our negligence, it's our problem.
Okay.
And so outside of that, I can't imagine there's a gap anywhere.
You know, they have insurance, and we always had a bin or a couple bins or something, and then we just added more when they closed down Northern Lights, so we had bins from probably the beginning. Because this was one of the sites where we did recycling, it's just that now more people come, so we have more people coming through here, and we have more bins. So yeah, I think we should check on the insurance, make sure we're other additional insured on their policy, get a copy of that, the founder that they'll give you.
Certificate, yeah.
Hmm?
They'll send us a certificate.
Yeah. And make sure we've got that covered. I don't know that we need Bailey here, but we can have him just for fun.
I'm just saying I'm happy to invite him here to speak if you
I
have
don't think we
questions.
need.
No, I don't think so. I just wanted to make sure that we cover ourselves and everything else, and it seemed like this kind of was,
Dangling out there.
yeah.
Any other discussion? A motion to adjourn?
Or I'll make that motion.
You're making the
I
motion.
support it.
All those in favor of adjourning at 8:40, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose the same.
We go in and out.
Motion adjourned, meeting adjourned.